Riders in this motherfucker. The holidays? Shit. That means 12 days of fuck you. Riders for life.
What is going on, everybody? This is Bronco Juggalo. Today is day 9 of the 12 Days of Christmas Horror Challenge, created by Horrific Nightmares JM, my good buddy Jason. Awesome dude. Check out his channel. Also participating in the challenge is McKnight696, HorrorFan34, Horrific Nightmares, of course, and Dave Maggot did a surprising Don't Call It a Comeback video today where he did a whirlwind tour to wrap up all the days in one. Check that video out as well. Today, guys, I am doing the 1974 slasher classic, Black Christmas. Now, yes, I've already done the remake, and I just decided to do it backwards for whatever reason. This movie is considered one of the prototypical slashers. It was one of the first slashers. We had Psycho, of course, before it, Peeping Tom, and then we got Black Christmas, and then a little ways down the road later, we got Halloween. And Halloween's the one that really, truly defined the current genre, but this one is the one that kind of set up the tropes that you would go through. This is a very good slasher film. It's a very good, awesome horror film. It's a good movie all around. This movie was also directed by Bob Clark, who some of you may know directed A Christmas Story. I found it very funny that Bob had two completely different kind of Christmas movies on his resume. It stars Margot Kidder of Superman fame, and it also stars future horror alums John Saxon and Olivia Hussey. So our story is that a group of sorority sisters at their sorority house over Christmas break, along with their alcoholic house mother, are being plagued by a series of obscene prank phone calls, or so they think they are prank phone calls. It turns out that they are actually being stalked by a psychotic killer named Billy, who's obsessed with something he did bad with somebody named Agnes, and he is using these calls to terrorize and frighten these women and play games with them before he kills them. This movie was originally released under the title Silent Night, Evil Night. And then, of course, sometime later we got Silent Night, Deadly Night. Getting into my cons first, because I only have one, and that is the ending of the film. I do have a slight problem with the end of the film because, alright, here's some spoilers just so you know. At the end of the film, the police break in and they find the final victim and her boyfriend, who they suspect is the killer, who have basically supposedly killed each other and are dead, basically in the cellar of the house. And they're just like, okay, we got our guy, and that's it. And they just leave, basically. They don't search the rest of the house. They don't do anything. Even though there are still people missing. People unaccounted for. Up in the attic, our killer Billy's up there along with 2 dead bodies. And it's just kind of ludicrous to me that they didn't do anything. That doesn't make any sense. But you know what? It's something that's very small, I guess, but it just bothers me. But it didn't take away from my enjoyment of this movie. This movie is awesome, even with that. Segueing off of that, my first pro is that I love that Billy was never found. I love that he, got away, or whatever you want to call it, just snuck up into the attic, and that was it. So yeah, it bothers me that they didn't do a search, because that's just logical that they would do that. But I'm glad he didn't get away, because it would open it up for more sequels, which of course, unfortunately, we never got. And it leaves a bit to your imagination of what's happening next, what's going to happen. Is this going to continue? Is Billy going to keep on killing? Will we find out who Agnes... all this stuff goes on in your head, which unfortunately never got answered by sequels. But I still like that he got away. And I can't help but wonder, if there were sequels, would Billy have become as famous as Freddy, Jason, and Michael? Because like I said, this was the proto-slasher. It was first. There are so many things they do in this movie that other slashers have followed. My next pro is actually one of those things, and it is the phone calls, the prank calls, the obscene calls that Billy is making. I love how years later in movies like Scream, they utilize that again. And it truly shows how influential this film was. Now, yes, Halloween was probably the most influential slasher of all time. And then right after that, probably next to that is Psycho, and then probably Black Christmas. But still, they introduced so many things in this movie that will be carried on into future movies. And I thought that was such a cool idea with the phone calls. I love how it brings the story together. And that's my next pro, is the story. The phone calls tie the story all in. And we get to see into Billy a little bit if you really listen to what's being said on those calls. Now, a lot of it is really bad and really nasty, but it's still really interesting. And then we get to look into these people's lives before he kills them. They actually develop these characters. They don't just, sign them up for slaughter. We have one who's from the city and she's kind of hoity-toity and she's an alcoholic and she looks down on everything, but you can tell that it's just to cover up her own insecurities. We have our main character who is pregnant and thinking about having an abortion. That is why her boyfriend is mad at her. That's why he can't concentrate. There's so much stuff. We get to go into what the boyfriend does, how he's a pianist and an artist, and we have all this information about these characters. They built these characters up. They weren't just throwaway cannon fodder characters. They built them up, let us get to know them, and then they took them away from us. And that's good storytelling in a horror film. Now, yes, as much as anybody, I like mindless slaughter. Some of the Jason films, things like that, just let's do it, That's just fun. But if I had to sit down and choose, I'll take a Halloween, Black Christmas, Christmas Evil style storyline over just rampant slaughter any day. My final pro that I just want to talk about specifically, because overall this is a very good movie, and I see why it gets the praise it gets. I love the gore of this film. It's not over the top. It's not too little either. There's a lot you don't see, but then you see the after effects. And that's almost as shocking as actually seeing the deed get done. Because especially Billy kind of sets these people's bodies up and things in a way that's very, very different, very cool. This has been day 9, guys. This has been one of the funnest things I've done since I've started this YouTube channel. I have really enjoyed doing this. Yes, I know I've been very tired, so I've basically been coming to you from this particular location. Because I usually have to do these videos pretty late because of my work schedule and all. But this has just been so much fun, and getting to watch these movies has been amazing. A lot of these are movies, actually every single movie on this one, with the exception of Santa Claus vs. Conquers the Martians and Black Christmas, the original, I think, are all movies I've never seen before. Oh, and Red Riding Hood. I forgot about that. Sorry. Besides those 3, I don't think I've seen any of these movies ever before. And it's been a real pleasure getting to watch them and checking out these films and realizing there are some really good Christmas horrors out there. Things that I've overlooked over the years because I thought they just kind of looked dumb or whatever. And I never watched them, so I didn't watch them. But now I'm glad I got to, because it's been amazing. It's been a lot of fun. And I can't wait to give you the last, 3 days? 10, 11, 12? This is day 9, so yeah. Anyways, guys, this is Bronco Juggalo saying I will see you tomorrow on day 10. Peace.
Change,
Please.
Christmas change.
Happy holidays, y'all. Give me a gift. Let me sing a little jingle while you drink that fifth. Jingle bells. Tell Santa that he better stop fronting it. Cookie eating motherfucker never leaving.